You ready? Okay, great. The Board of Directors of Williamson-Travis County's Municipal Utility District Number 1 is holding our public meeting tonight, Wednesday, the 20th of November.
Sorry about to interrupt. Can you turn on the microphone?
At 6:30 p.m. And we now call this meeting to order. Comments shall be limited. We're going to do comments first. We shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. We're going to ask that if you can share if you are a resident or a non-resident. This helps us as directors understand where you're coming from. And the first one I have is Linda Bob.
Another meeting hasn't started
It's
yet.
Linda Bob.
Yes, it just started.
It is undeniable we are living in the age of disinformation where staying vigilant and engaged is more critical than ever. 8 years ago, I began my journey with this MUD, driven by a commitment to transparency, accountability, and the oversight needed to counter the rampant abuses seen by many MUDs, including our own. This commitment remains unwavering. To empower residents and foster an informed community, I have launched a new website, muducation.org. This platform is dedicated to educating, informing, and engaging neighbors about the operations and decisions that shape our MUD. The site provides meeting summaries, simplified recaps of discussions to keep residents informed, agenda analysis, a deeper dive into key issues in monthly agendas, and a resource repository, access to supporting documents, laws, and policies to keep everyone well informed. Tonight's agenda raises significant concerns, not only for what is included, but for what has been glaringly omitted. Missing entirely are critical follow-ups from the October 16th, 2024 meeting, such as 2 resolutions tied to the Right to Farm Act, as well as the censure of Beth Jones. These omissions demand scrutiny, which I will address in a forthcoming analysis. Under new business, agenda item 8C is especially troubling. This item appears to challenge the public's fundamental right to participate in these meetings. That right is unequivocally guaranteed under Article 1, Section 27 of the Texas Constitution, and is further reinforced by the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Government Code. The legal framework protecting the public comment in the Government Code allows governmental bodies to adopt reasonable rules for public comment, including time limits. However, these rules must not discriminate against individuals based on their point of view and cannot prohibit public criticism of the governing body's actions, policies, or decisions. The implications of agenda item 8C: if the intent behind this item is to limit dissent or suppress criticism, it represents a direct violation of these protections. Public criticism of governmental actions is not just a right, but a cornerstone of transparency and accountability. Attempts to curtail this right would undermine trust in the governing body and contradict both constitutional and legal safeguards. This community deserves a MUD that values open dialogue, embraces constructive criticism, and fosters meaningful engagement. I urge the board to uphold these principles and ensure residents' voices are heard.
Thank you. Okay, next is the consent agenda, including approval of the minutes of the 16th of October, 2024. Have you guys had a chance to look at those? Okay, then we'll come back to that next month.
So deferring the minutes?
We're going to defer the minutes to the next meeting, please. Do you need a minute on that, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay, great. Okay, accountant's report.
Hi, this is Kara. Board, can you hear me?
Yes.
Welcome to our 2 new board members.
Thank you.
I'm Kara, your bookkeeper, and I'll give you your accountant's report now. If you would scroll past the cover page, you will see on page 2 your summary of funds. You can see all of the cash or bank accounts in your general fund and your tax pool account for your general fund, with a total for your general fund of $1.574 million. You can also see your tax pool tax fund, which is at a balance of $1.537 million. If you would look at page 3, you will see your cash flow for New First, your main checking account. We started the month with $20,947.90. You've had several receipts, including a receipt from the state of Texas for a FEMA payment, some tennis fees, interest on your checking. We're showing a lost check as a receipt just for accounting purposes, and we did transfer $250,000 from tax pool for total receipts of $354,942. Under your disbursements, you can see check number 1404 highlighted in green. That is a holding check that we issued since your last meeting to the Pedernales Electric Co-op for electricity. I am presenting for your approval today checks number 1405 to 1438. I don't think there's much out of the ordinary. Your check number 1430 to the TCEQ is your once a year water system fee, and then your TML insurance. That is not a monthly recurring expense. And then you will also see a check 1433 to Travis County for your election. We also wrote 2 checks to the Williamson County Auditor's Office for vehicle usage. That's check number 1436, and 1437 is another election expense. We have asked for another holding check, which is made out to the Pedernales Electric Co-op so that we can make a timely payment for your electricity for your next meeting. After your disbursements of $357,034, we left $18,856 in that account. Page 4 is a cash flow for Central Bank. This is your operator's account where they deposit your water bills. We started the month with $37,887. You had accounts receivable in this account of $68,555. That's your total receipts. Your disbursements was a $5 service charge and then a sweep to ICS, and that is New First for $69,495, leaving a balance in that account of $36,942. Page 5 is the cash flow for Cadence Bank. We started the month with $6,035. You had October receipts from your water bills of $179,917. Your disbursements are we paid your security payroll, and we also had some ADP fees of office requests from directors Avila, Jones, and Masters. You can see those highlighted in blue. We had a couple payroll fees, some T-Tech bills and returns. We did transfer $175,000 out of this account to tax pool for total disbursements of $181,925, leaving a balance in this account of $4,000 and just about $28. Your cash flow for your Cadence Bank reservation account is on page 6. We started with a beginning balance of $12,461. You had a little facility rental for $1,405. You can see the alternate gateway fee that you see every month, an EPX fee, and then a facility rental refund of $1,275 for total disbursements of $1,383, leaving a balance in this account of $12,483.71. Your last checking account is your Cadence Bank manager's account on page 7. The beginning and ending balances are the same, $42,200, because there were no transactions in this account. Pages 8 through 10 are your actual versus budget. Since you have a September fiscal year end, you are seeing only the month of October this month. So your columns 1 and 4 are the same. Next month you'll see 2 months worth of activity in columns 4, 5, and 6. But you can see that our gross profit so far at $379,317, we're over budget, and our expected revenues by $136,569. I'll give you a minute to look through your different expense accounts. We are under budget in a couple of those categories, which will still have bills come in for the month of October during the next 30 days. But if you will look at page 10, we thought that we'd be at a negative budget at this time. I'm looking on page 10 at the very bottom line, and I'm looking at the second column. We had a deficit budget so far because we have not received maintenance tax collections of any significance yet in this fiscal year. But we're actually ahead of where we thought we would be. So we're over budget at this point of about $194,000. I went through that a little quickly, but I am open to absolutely any questions on any pages of my report.
Directors, anybody have a question?
Well, let me make this statement. As a new person, certainly I'm in a position of playing catch-up in terms of finding things and understanding things. And I have read through things a little. But Mackenzie, let me ask you, as the manager, are you looking at this? I mean, are you overseeing this? And so I'm looking at you. Tell me, is there something that you see here that we ought to spend some time on tonight?
I don't see any anomalies, and I do tend to attend all of the Bills and Invoices Committee meetings as well, along
Okay.
with Artesian.
Okay, well, that's why I'm asking you right now. Clarify for me, if you will, back on page 3. What is the thing, explain to me again about what the blackout is. What are we
Oh,
doing?
you're in the redacted report. There's another report in the file that
Okay.
doesn't have the blackout portion of it.
Okay,
That redacted report is what we publish to the district's website to meet government code for what can and cannot be publicly accessible. So there's
Okay.
another report in your file in there
okay.
that is not blacked out.
It's the same
the
same
same
page.
exact report.
But it just
It's
has,
correct.
deposit refunds
Okay.
to people, residents in the district.
well, that's good. I'm glad you explained that to me because I see it's a refund. I see deposit refund and the check numbers that are connected to it, but I didn't.
Didn't see the names.
I
Yeah.
won't ask you that again, okay.
No problem.
Okay, I've got that one, all right. And we paid an electric bill and Pedernales, we have one that at the bottom,
It's
number
a-
1438, is we're going to provide a blank so that it can be paid on time.
Correct, so you don't incur late fees.
Okay, gotcha, all right. All
And
right,
that check is made out, the payee portion is filled out and cannot be altered,
okay, all right,
and, will not be altered, and then because we use positive pay, if for some reason any of these checks were altered, they would not be honored by the bank, because the bank knows every character of the payee and every character of the amount. So
okay, all right.
you've got a good level of protection there with New First Bank and the positive pay program.
All right, thank
And
you.
if you notice too, at the top of the disbursements on that page, check 1404 was the one from the previous month.
Uh-huh.
And so that one was completed and mailed for $4,617.13. And I have a copy of all the statements
Okay.
and the stuff that went with it for review also.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mackenzie, do we have a policy that we're to avoid all late charges when at all possible?
Yes, I don't know if we have a policy, I know it's been discussed in the past, and we do our best to
Something we
attempt
should
to avoid
think
late fees. In the past, we have done very similar to this, where we've issued payments, whether it be a blank check, or when you had a manager's account, we would authorize the bookkeeper to cut something out of the manager's account for a regular reoccurring bill to avoid late fees.
Okay.
I had a couple questions. When did the Bills and Invoice Committee meet to go over the bills and invoice?
They met yesterday afternoon, I believe. I wasn't in the meeting. At around 3 o'clock with Kimberly Smith, is that correct?
1:30.
Oh, okay, about 1:30. And the information was available and prepared by Friday and sent for review. So the
Okay.
committee members had time to review it.
So, in the accountant report, I don't see any of the supporting documents for the checks. None of the bills are there. I didn't see the accountant report there until today, I believe. It got into the folder.
Yes, it wasn't placed in
Right,
today,
so,
that's correct.
I believe we discussed this in the past, that, we would get all these bills and invoices, so all directors can see them 5 days prior.
Absolutely.
So-
And we were definitely aware of that and realized that, that's something we didn't do. This month, mainly the reason is we're preparing your audit documents that we're getting ready to send to the auditor, and we had some adjustments that we were making. And so before we submitted the report, we just wanted to make sure all those adjustments were made, and that ended up causing us to run
Okay.
later
So-
than we thought.
So did you email the Bills and Invoice Committee all the documents?
Yes.
Okay, and you said on Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday before.
All you have to do is add my name on there as, right, Cole, if blind carbon copy, she can add that and send it to everybody. So I know I've discussed this in the past. A little disappointed that I didn't get it and I wasn't able to see, I still can't see any bills and invoices. So unfortunately, I'm unprepared to make a proper vote because it's not presented. So just a little disappointed in that I've mentioned it before and it was not.
I guess I wasn't
Okay.
aware and again, I had instructed my bookkeeper to send it to the committee.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that we send it to everyone if you would like.
I'm going to make a motion so that we can all agree. I'd like to make a motion. Give me 1 second. I move that all contractors have all documents in shared drive 5 days prior to the board meeting to prepare for the meetings. Can I get a second?
Repeat for me, David, you said.
I move that all contractors have all the documents, don't shake your head no.
I apologize to you, David.
It's good.
She was speaking, and that's because I did the interruption.
that
David, let me, if I
All
can.
contractors have the documents in the shared drive, so
Okay.
everybody can see them at the same time.
Okay.
We have time to review, so I'm asking that all the contractors have those documents ready for us 5 business days prior to the board meeting, so we can all be prepared.
Okay, that the question I was asking you about was the 5 days.
Mhm.
So, that sounds great, but 5 days, that's a lot. You want,
We're not able to do 5 business days because that's your cutoff for when invoices come to us.
Okay,
So we have to
so
have time to
3
enter
business
all that
days?
into the system.
So the Friday before, 3 business days, you were able to email,
We did it this time on Friday. Typically, it's on Monday, but it got done a little bit early this time. And then sometimes we end up having to add some more invoices. We do try to stick to the 5-day, but sometimes you have things that are timely and unfortunately don't get to us right away. But yeah, I mean, and as far as what we're providing on Friday is not a report. It is the invoices and it is the documents,
okay.
yeah.
So I'll
with it. And so
modify
that's-
my motion that the bills and whatever Artesian sends to the Bills and Invoice Committee just be sent to all board members.
So not the all contractor notes, are just
No,
bills and invoices?
Bills and invoices, whatever bills and invoices get when they get it, they should be emailed to everybody, so we're all able to see, and we all have the duty to look over them, and the right to look over them. Can I get a second?
I like it. I'm hesitant here because I'm not fully understanding totally everything about it. I think it's a very good idea for all contractors to get everything to us in a timely manner so that we are able to look at it and spend some time over it. I'm wanting to second your motion, David, but I need some help in understanding here. You said you have a 5-day that you try to work with.
Right.
Okay.
Our agreement states that that we will process all invoices that are submitted to us 5 business days in advance.
Okay.
And then in the past, the committee has asked us to send the invoices in advance, which were done on Friday.
Okay.
That is typically very doable, and that was done this past time too. What we didn't get a chance to do was forward the report 24 hours in advance, which
Okay,
we
and that
typically
hurts,
do.
that does hurt.
And
yeah.
that, we definitely apologize for that. We feel like it's extenuating circumstances. Your fiscal year audit just ended, and we are in the process of finalizing everything. We were making some adjusting entries, and so we didn't want to submit it with errors or mistakes in it.
Okay.
And so-
Carol, why don't we have the committee study this a little bit further, the bills and invoices, and make a recommendation for the next meeting?
You know what, Lisa, just, I will send my motion. Just please send me, when you send it to the bills and invoice, I want to see them as well. I need time. I work over 60 hours a week.
David,
So I
order.
have to.
David, order,
What's the reason?
because you've had 4.5 minutes to do this, and Carol was speaking, and now you're back to speaking, so,
Well, I never stopped speaking.
but we need to have an order.
Okay.
Make
So,
a
yeah,
motion that
Lisa-
you want a copy of that.
So if you can send me that, please,
We
when you
need to
send it
make
to
a
the bills.
motion of that first, sorry. We need to have a motion for that to happen. Carol, are you making a motion for
So
that?
I think I am. The motion I think I'm making is that you will send that to all board members in this timely manner, which the target is 5 days, but still, we're not going to lock that, but that you're going to send it to all of us.
Okay, so do I have a second on that?
I'll second that. That's what my motion was.
All
I
right,
rescinded
you
it
made the
to.
motion, we need a second on that.
So we're getting, let me slow everything down really quickly. There's multiple kind of conversations happening. So, okay, so David had an initial motion to request that the entire accountant's report be provided, all consultant report be provided at least 5 days in advance of a meeting. Lisa explained sometimes that's difficult because of the billing schedule and bookkeeping reasons. So, I mean, it's difficult for me on certain things if I get asked to do a resolution, but I'm not, this isn't about me right now. So, he rescinded his motion to say, then, in that case, when the bills and invoices are distributed to the committee, which typically happens on either the Friday before the meeting or definitely the Monday before the meeting, either way, it's ample time before the meeting. His motion was that the email that Artesian sends to the Bills and Invoicing Committee goes to just the full board. So the committee and the other directors, so everyone has an opportunity to review those before the meeting. So that, and then he rescinded his motion, and then you made that same
I'll make
motion.
that
So
same
I just want to make sure.
Okay.
So are you seconding it?
Well, no, he rescinded his, so I'm remaking the motion.
Okay,
I'll second
go
And then
ahead.
David seconded the motion. And so we have the first and the second. And now then, is there any
Okay,
more?
let's do a vote. Or does anybody want to discuss that?
I wanted the committee to make a recommendation, but
Not all of us are here right now
true.
for that committee, so
think
I would
we
like
should
to
wait.
wait till the next meeting, so that's
But-
where I am
but
on
we
that,
have
but go
the-
ahead. That's all that I have to say. Do you have anything? Well, you already
Well,
spoke.
we have the first and the second, so
Chris?
I think we can vote.
Okay, let's make a vote. All in favor? Failed. Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay. I am asking, Chris asked if he could make a comment at the beginning of the meeting for him, just starting. And I'd like to see if we can get a second on that for Chris to say something.
That should be real brief.
Before y'all do that, can y'all approve the bills and invoices
Yes.
first, so that way we can close out that agenda?
That's
item?
right. I make a motion, we approve the bills and invoices that were presented to us at this time. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I'm going to abstain,
Three.
due to not having all the material available to get prepared for the
Okay.
meeting.
If I may, just add one thing, because we
Please.
don't have three signatures that can sign the checks right now because of the change in the board, and we don't have new signature cards to be at the bank yet. So I understand Hanoi is coming back in town tomorrow or the next day, and so Mackenzie has agreed. She's happy to hold on to the checks, and then he can stop by and provide the third signature, and then she'll courier or FedEx them, to us, and then we'll go ahead and disperse them.
Perfect,
So
thank you.
You said the third signature? Who's
Yes.
the second signature?
Oh, you're not signing them?
I haven't been able to look at the bills and
Oh, I'm sorry.
invoices, so I can't sign, I won't sign anything that
I'll
I'm
sign
not.
your signature card. Do you have one with you?
I don't, but I'll make sure I get it to you tomorrow.
And
And
I'll-
I'll make sure we get the signature card completed. and
Yeah,
then
if we
we'll
need to
get
spend
the-
extra money to have it, to get everybody paid timely, that's fine.
You know what, then both of you go ahead and sign it.
Okay.
They'll just have to hold for a few days until the signature cards get processed, and then we'll go ahead, and we won't have to ask Noe to do that then.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, and can I get, do you want to make a statement?
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Chris Rocco. I want to thank my constituents for electing me back onto the board. I want to assure them that my objectives as a director haven't changed from previously. I want to do things effectively. I want to keep property values up. I want to have operation costs down, and I want the residents to have full transparency to what's going on. And one of the things that we're going to do as a board, since Ms. Fobb has decided to post her own website of her opinion about what the board's doing, I'm asking the board to allow us to post a discussion of anything that she may bring up in her website that confuses the taxpayers. They're going to read this and have no other comeback to what's going on. So we need to let them know which of these are Ms. Fobb's opinion about how she thinks things should be run, and let the board, along with its vendors, its attorneys, engineers, everybody else, and accountants involved, do a rebuttal, if you may, to make sure that we don't confuse the residents with misinformation, which so often happens.
Thank you. Engineer report? And Cole, can you put that on the agenda for the next meeting, because we can't really do that right now?
All right, so first item on the engineer's report is in regards to your facility assessment, capital plan, and asset management plan that's been finalized. The first project that we'd like to get going on that was discussed last month is to get started on the sanitary sewer cleaning and televising. That's running a camera through all your sewer pipes, cleaning it, documenting that video with a report from the crew that runs the camera, denoting if there's any issues in the sewer pipes that need repair or maintenance. Those videos and reports are submitted to the engineer to review and approve, and then we would then send documentation to the TCQ that, that process had been done. You're required to do that every 5 years.
Every 5 years. I was gonna say, I remember it last time, I just wanted to know,
So
when was the last
it's
time we did it?
May 2020.
Okay, thank you.
So it would be, and that's why we're bringing it today, I think it'd be awesome for us to get started now so that we have time for a contractor to get that work done and get the data analyzed so we can submit to the TCQ by May of 2025. So I've prepared a work order, that's attachment number 1. It kind of goes through the scope that we're going to do, which is prepare the package, coordinate do the public bidding process, coordinate the contractor, get the work done, review the work, make a recommendation to the board if any repairs need to be made. And that work order authorization is in the amount of $32,000.
Is that on a budgeted amount? Was that on this year's 24-25 budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I move that we approve Westwood to go ahead forth with the professional service agreement.
I'll second it.
Any questions? Anybody want to speak about that? Discussion? Okay, let's take a vote. All in favor?
Thank you, Gordon. The next item is the status of the lead and copper rule. So your service line inventory was submitted before the deadline, October 14th. And then we worked with Infomark. They provided some really good insights as to how to make some tweaks to the letter, because the TCQ came out with their own requirements after we were met as a district. So we made tweaks to the letter. That letter went out to all the residents that were affected by having unknown service line materials. think the letter went out November 7th-ish.
Yeah, I think so.
So that was done in the timeframe that you were required to do. You were required to send that letter out 30 days after the inventory was submitted to TCEQ. So as of right now, you've done everything that you're required to do. The next steps are figuring out what your plan of attack is going to be for determining what the unknown materials are. We had, I think it's 835 residences that had homes that were essentially built either before or around that threshold where Texas cut off, that implemented the lead ban. And we had no records that we could point to that said that we knew that there was no lead, so therefore they are unknown. So the next steps is we need to figure out as a board, and I think the infrastructure committee, we can discuss this at the next meeting, as to maybe what the best approach would be to determine what those service line materials are. I want to say you have until November 1st, 2027 to make that determination. I see no reason to kind of delay that. I don't have a plan necessarily to recommend to you just yet. That's something that I will work on and to discuss with the infrastructure committee and bring back to you guys. But just wanted to put that on your radar. Obviously, there was, as residents opened that letter, there was a way for them to contact the district via telephone and via an email address set up by Infomark. There's been is a flurry the correct term?
Influx?
There's been a cornucopia of questions and inquiries from residents,
And
rightfully
fairly
so.
detailed, I would say, not like your basic standard questions, pretty in-depth, asking who's gonna cover the cost of line replacement, things that the board has not even discussed.
Do you know, are these all Milburn homes?
I don't know.
You don't have any idea?
They're pretty scattered throughout.
Oh, they are?
Mhm. Like throughout the 835 addresses, there's been sporadic amounts coming in.
Are they limited to certain sections?
I haven't dug that
Okay,
deep,
okay.
but I don't think you have either.
The inquiries?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't-
no, I haven't looked at
okay.
addresses.
So you just have a round number at that 800?
Oh, the 835, I think, is Anderson Mill West, sections 1 through 5.
Okay, well, that's probably,
Six.
that's probably all Milburn homes.
Yeah, because mine's.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just a caveat statement is, I got a few of the calls and contacts, and several of them is I didn't get a letter. They were concerned that they didn't get a letter. They know somebody who did, and so now they're concerned, they're worried that they have a
Missed out.
problem and they weren't
Why wouldn't they have
notified.
gotten a letter?
We
Well,
didn't-
the
we
letters-
only sent it to the homes affected
Okay.
before
Yeah,
X
right.
date,
Okay.
which was the requirement.
Okay, let's keep moving on. Sorry,
That's okay.
go ahead.
Do you want to make, or do you want,
One of the things that I want to do, I don't necessarily have the time personally or want to respond to each inquiry individually. I think all the questions are worded in ways that would just create an issue to answer them all consistently. So what I would like to do is take this first flurry influx of questions and develop a frequently asked questions
Yeah,
document
that's what I was going to suggest.
that we can post to the website and refer people to. And maybe some of the answers are going to be the board's working on a plan, but at least that's there. And then as we develop what our next steps will be, we can modify that document.
We're not the only ones going through this, so I mean.
You're not, no.
Has the Association of Water Board Directors, have they discussed this at all?
I believe they have, but it's not necessarily that it's coming from that. I will say that y'all's district is the only one thus far we've received this many inquiries from. The LCRR email was set up for all Infomark districts, and the majority of everything we've received through that email and our phone number we've published and created specifically for this has been from WTC
Yeah, I
residents.
bet we're probably one of the oldest districts also.
Probably.
I thought we discussed that we weren't going to put a phone number, but we were going to do an email.
That was before the language changed
Okay.
from TCQ, and
That-
Infomark
that's it.
determined that we were gonna get an influx of questions, not just for y'all, but
Everybody.
everybody. So they developed an internal email that's lcrr@infomark.com. That's what we've been forwarding over from Jacob. It goes directly to our compliance department, and so does the 1-800 phone number that we
Now,
provided.
is Infomark sending over inquiries, questions, and concerns to the engineer?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to rack up some billing for that, I'm guessing.
Well, that's
Well,
what I
that's what the
wanted.
FAQ
Are you
is for.
asking for us to make a motion tonight? Is that what you're asking for?
Not necessarily. I don't think I need a motion. You know, we have the next infrastructure committee meeting is on the books for the first week of December. What I want to do is take those first inquiries, review them, and develop a frequently asked questions with answers document.
Okay,
Bring it to the infrastructure committee. We can massage it, flesh it out, whatever. Get it to a point where then we can upload it and respond to all those initial inquiries. Say, hey, please go take a look at that, so that I'm not spending
Money
time.
hours.
Okay. all right, great. Next, and then D?
All right. Update on the concrete masonry wall letter. We've discussed this the last couple months. This is a letter notifying residents that have one of your walls on their property that would go out to them saying, hey, you're going to be pressure washing your walls on a regular basis between, I want to say it's July and September, or August and September, and that if there are trees in the way that would inhibit you from pressure washing and cleaning your walls, or if they were causing structural damage to the wall, that you would have to trim them. And so you're recommending to residents to trim them on their own time. The letter was revised to bring awareness to oak wilt in the time frame of the year where that's not recommended to trim oak trees. So I think that letter is ready to go out. The copy of that letter is attached, it's attachment 5. If y'all are fine with that going out, we'll send a list of addresses.
So sorry?
We'll send a list of addresses to McKinsey and Infomark, and they'll push that letter out just like they did the lead copper letter.
So David, do you want to make a motion for that? That's your committee? To be able to have that
Didn't we
letter
already
out?
make a motion to approve it? I thought we,
I'd have to go back and look at all the intricate, we've modified it every month with the
okay.
slight.
Well, I move that we approve the letter that Westwood has made to, regarding the CMU walls.
To go out in the water bill?
No, it'll be a
No, it's
separate
separate.
mailer because it will only go to the homes affected.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I second David's motion.
Okay, all in favor? Cool.
Item E is updates on other matters. We had a few matters kind of come up. The first one we've discussed in the board meeting a little bit, the sidewalk on El Salito that acts as an impromptu bike ramp. We went out there and looked at it, and funny enough, a kid rode by his bike while we were there, safely. But it's about 50 feet of sidewalk that you would need to demolish and redo. I think it's doable. You would start to ramp the sidewalk up further away than just the 2 panels that it currently does, so that it's not an abrupt change of direction. We reached out to a contractor who had previously done sidewalk repairs in your district. They did not respond, so we're going to reach out to a couple more to see if they can put a quote on it. I think one guy did respond yesterday, saying he could go look at it the first week of December and provide a free estimate. So I hope to bring an estimate back to you guys next month as to what it would take to fix that part of the sidewalk. One of the things that was discussed in the infrastructure committee was, does the district want to embark on a regular sidewalk assessment and maintenance program? That is certainly something that can be done. It's entirely up to y'all. If y'all wanted to do some type of regular sidewalk assessment, one of the things that we were kind of kicking around internally was developing a evaluation matrix so that our evaluation is consistent and assigning, points or scoring criteria for if the sidewalk needs repair or not based on what we see visual features.
Previous boards did that.
Right. So y'all, in the files that I've received, there's I think maybe 5 or 6 instances of sidewalk repair projects where they've identified a handful of locations and then kind of repaired them all at once. Totally fine with helping the district do that. The first, obviously, is just worried about this El Salito, but wanted to bring that up.
Okay. Just a reminder, because it's my heartbeat of disabilities. Anytime you go into changing a roadway or a sidewalk area, you have to take into account slope, etc. So sometimes it's not always easy to put in what is the correct slope, if you will, or dip, or and I know you're aware of that. I realize that. I do. So anyway, I just bring that up because I see that tree there, and so okay, good. Take care of it.
And that, that's part of the issue. Is obviously the tree's not going anywhere. And so you wonder if this investment would be something that you'd have to continue to repair over time. Obviously, we hope not, and I think there's some ways to design it in such a way that the sidewalk is a little bit more protected over that area of the tree from uplift. But yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And there's other things that you can do. You can indicate, you can mark the sidewalk if you decide we're not going to do anything with it, to let some of the foot draggers know that there's a bump here, and they will at least be looking for it, because I can tell you, going down it's not good. So, especially for older people.
Perfect. I'll continue to follow up with these contractors to bring the price back to you guys next month.
Great.
And I went ahead and just prepared a brief memo with some photos, just documenting the time and condition. That's attachment 6 if y'all are interested. The next item is 3007 Peppergrass Trail. This was a resident inquiry requesting a drainage block to be placed by the board in the CMU wall at the back of their property. They were concerned about drainage. They're looking to install a pool in the near future, and are now concerned about drainage in their backyard. So we did a couple things. One, we looked through files to try to find the original drawings for that section. Of all of the sections in your district, that is the one that I do not have drawings for. It's very impressive. I have drawings for almost everything else, but that one. All that to be said, I could not confirm exactly how the drainage was intended for that street, that part of the development. But in looking at all of the other developments, the lots definitely drained to the back. The wall was definitely installed after the lot was developed. So I could see the concern there, although the back 7.5 feet is a utility easement, which is intended to be essentially a drainage swale to convey down the wall. It's clear that drainage blocks were placed in what appears to be like an erratic manner, but in reality they were placed at downstream locations to act as drainage ports for the end of those drainage wells going to the back of people's lots. We went to the property to look at it. We took some photos. Those photos are attached to a memo. Things that we didn't see, we did not see, rotting fence at the bottom. We did not see water stain marks on the wall that kind of would indicate, and we actually went right after rain, so it's pretty timely. We didn't see evidence that water has a hard time draining through their backyard. It is noted that downstream of their house, the next consecutive neighbors, they have built things such as a pool or a pool house or other appurtenances that definitely would impede drainage. But at this time, I don't think that this inquiry is an actual drainage problem that the board needs to address.
I would bet this happened before, and I would bet that the pool guy probably says something, see if you can get the mud to put a drainage thing, because, we may get a monsoon here, and it'd be nice to, and what does it hurt him to ask, so.
My concern is that, if you were to move forward with this one resident, you open,
That's exactly right.
A consolation recommendation might be that we find a contractor that you would trust to do the work and have them provide a quote that the resident then pays. So it's a contractor that the board is okay with doing construction on their wall. And that way, if other residents want the same thing, here we go.
It'd be just the cost of the pool, because I can assure you, when that wall, you're talking about a masonry wall, correct?
Yes, sir.
When that was put up, drainage was not just a consideration, it was a must. And if there wasn't a drainage block put in there, they didn't feel like it was necessary. So I think that's a real good idea.
Okay. Would you like me to find some of the masonry contractors that have done work on your walls, see if they can provide a quote for that?
Sure.
That we could convey to.
What do you think?
Can we take a vote on that? Would you like to make?
I'll make a motion that we send Jacob to find a contractor that see if they'd be interested in giving us a quote on this.
Anybody like to do a second on that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
And the last one, which I noticed my lettering system didn't go too well. Anyways, 2012 Lakeline Oaks, they also made an inquiry with a picture of a hand on a wall with a statement that the wall is falling again and it might be the tree roots. We went out to look at the wall at that area. We approached it from the apartments side. We did not go through the resident's backyard. We can certainly do that if the board wants us to contact the resident and do that. We did not notice anywhere along the wall that appeared that it was tilting or falling or loose or any structural concerns when we walked it. We took some photos. Those photos are attached to the memo as well. I don't think there's anything for you to do on that wall at this time. I think it would be wise to, maybe once a quarter when we're out in the district, just go take some more photos and kind of just keep a running tab on it. They said falling again, so I went through and looked at the files that I have. I couldn't find a particular reference to a project or a contractor, an invoice or anything for a wall repair at that location. So.
Maybe we could ask him when this occurred.
Sure. Yeah, would y'all like me to go look at it from his side of the fence?
Well, I don't know why it would be falling from his side and not from the other side, so.
Let's wait on that. Unless you want to make a motion on it.
No, let's just wait on that, I agree.
Move forward.
The final item is the copy of the meeting minutes from the infrastructure committee meeting are attached for everybody's review. That's all I have.
General Manager?
Alrighty, if you go to our report, we're going to scroll down to the executive summary. As far as streetlights go this month, the streetlight survey was conducted on the 28th of October. That light that we had determined from PEC contacting us at 1100 Hunters Creek, we got a quote from M&C on that. It's in the packet for approval. The total amount for that was $9,082 to replace that streetlight that had been damaged. And I believe, Reese, correct me if I'm wrong, but PEC collected the pole whenever it was damaged.
That's correct.
Water accountability for the month came in at exactly 100%. So we're back on track with that. Your delinquent letters for the month, we had 139 mailed, 94 tags hung, and 11 disconnects made. We have a few other proposals throughout the report and supporting documents there behind. We have one for Landcare to trim the limbs over Dagama lift station. It's getting increasingly difficult to pull the pumps to inspect on a monthly basis because of how overgrown the limbs are above the lift station. So we had Landcare come out and give us a quote for that. It's pretty substantially high up there, but over encroaching. So the quote for that was $1,950. We did receive a quote from Touchstone to include a site visit and replacement of the microphones that are on the tables. I'm sure y'all all are aware, but we have 2 that are down right now that do not work anymore. We've tried everything we can to repair them. It's not a battery powered one. They have a stand back there they charge on. The reason for the site visit and the exorbitant cost is because Touchstone will have to come and reprogram the system, and at that time we're going to ask them to get the projector up and running as well while they're on site. So we haven't had them come out and do a site visit in well over a year or 2. So this will be the purchase of the new microphones and a new site visit to sync the system back up with the new set and get the projector up and running.
When was the last time you did a complete, I don't know what you call it, investigation of the system and whether it's able to meet the needs of the district?
I don't know that a system check has been performed. We've added to the system over time, but this system existed prior to my
Right, I realize that, and that's why I'm asking. I mean, technology changes, and I don't know how comfortable you are, but I'm very uncomfortable holding a meeting where we say, oh, it doesn't work, we're not going to tape it. So, and if that happens, I'm going to suggest we don't have the meeting if we're not able to.
So the recording equipment has been working. We haven't had any issues as of late.
Okay.
We reset it often, and I think that helps the Pearl reboot itself, which is what it's called.
Okay.
This is more specifically for the microphones. The system is very old. I don't know if y'all know, but directly behind Monroe Stinson's head there's a old stereo system that powers that as well as the system.
When we
all of that still is in place.
Yeah.
So.
That might be something that we don't have anything budgeted for that this year, though,
We don't.
do we? Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, let's see if we can.
While Touchstone is here, because we never call them out for a site visit, we can have them take a look and see what they can recommend.
Well, they're just going to recommend us giving them money, so.
Well, when we initially hired Touchstone, they came out and only made the modifications needed to get you guys microphones and have the meeting recorded. So we can just ask them to give the system an overview.
I don't think it's necessary to be state of the art. I just want it to work.
Understood.
Okay.
We
Can I
do,
ask one question before you go further?
Of course.
That pole that was replaced, was that the one hit by a car, or was it the one that rusted and fell over?
I think it rusted and fell over.
Okay,
And PEC collected it because they saw it first, and then we didn't know where the pole went.
right.
And then PEC had reached out to us to let us know they collected the pole, so we obtained a quote for replacement.
Okay, all right, thank you.
We did get a quote in from Shade Pro as well. I'm sure a few of y'all are aware, but the shade over on that side of Lake Glen Oaks, the corner over there, has a rather large hole in it. It's something that's been noted on every Park Pro Tech report we've received. The structure is sound and fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So right now we're just recommending the shade be replaced. So we got a quote for
It can't be
that.
patched?
It can't, unfortunately. And where it sits, it's perfect for kids to get on top of the playscape and
Sure, exactly,
mess with the
that's what I'm
hole,
worried about.
which has caused it to grow over time, but that's because there's a
How did the
hole
hole get
there.
there to begin with, you know?
I don't. It could have been hail, it could have been a freeze storm, we don't know. There's so much that the district's had with that
It could have
shape.
been vandalism,
So, it could.
Okay.
So moving on, Park Pro Tech has replaced all of the items that we've approved them for Anderson Mill West. We are still waiting on disc golf mats, if I'm not mistaken, or did they finally get here? Yep, we're still waiting on the Anderson Mill Pond disc golf mats. As far as the Lake Glen Oaks shade structure, we've covered that. I left the insurance item on here just to let you all know that after the meeting where we discussed to add the evaluations that Jacob had determined for the lift stations to bring up 20% this year, that has since been made. And I believe that's actually the 450 or 446 charge y'all saw, and the yearly amount changed to add in an additional 20% of the valuations for DeGama and Sunchase's lift station. So I believe that's the cost difference. As far as the accounts with deposits of 0 on file, we've completed the investigation. We have about 43 that do not have a deposit that should require one. We've also gone in and determined each deposit amount for the year for the rate order. We had 13 that do not have a deposit for undetermined reasons because of the age of the account. We can only go back to, I believe, 2010. Some of them.
Yes, prior to
So-
2010, we don't.
These have never had a deposit?
Either they did and they were removed before the system conversion took place for AVR, so we don't have prior to that.
Okay.
And then we do have 3 that were refunded for good payment history. And then we had 19 that were recently added, that were new ones over the course of the last year, added in September, that all have paid their deposits.
Okay.
So we're gonna continue working on getting them added and just letting residents know. It's boded well so far with letting people know. No one has had any issue with it. They have called in and questioned it, but Missy went in and verified everyone has already paid the ones that we've already set for. So that's gonna be our plan moving forward. If we have any issues, we can work with the committee if y'all wanna designate one for that, or we can just keep trucking along and report back at the next meeting.
So, I have a question. I see 1/8/22/2024. That's so recent, you know, it's in our rate order that a deposit will be collected. Why wasn't it collected?
I don't know, I couldn't tell you. Some of them were then added in September, and that was probably one of them. We have a whole list of most recent ones that were added in September. It also depends on whenever they come in, where we are in the billing period, whether or not they're gonna get hit with usage on that first bill or the next one based off of where they start service in the month for your billing cycle. So
Why isn't a deposit not collected when they initiate service?
it should be, and it almost always is. We had unfortunately a couple that weren't. Most of them are recent, within the last 2 or 3 months, and they were mostly added between August and September. We are also working on, not that this is any excuse or adding to this, we are working on a billing system conversion. And so that will bring forth a lot more options, technology, and advances for the billing system itself.
So you feel it's an anomaly at this time?
Yeah, we actually went through, and I think, and Elizabeth, you can correct me if I'm wrong, we did a bit of an audit on a lot of our districts and found that this has been a common problem across all of them, undetermined why, whereas every 10 they're added and then 1 is missed. And it's not delineated back to a specific person or anything of that nature, so one of the many reasons we're switching billing systems.
A simple checklist when they're filling out the...
They have one. We have a startup checklist. They have a whole bulletin that they go by. So, and then you have a packet for your district to start service packet that they have to fill out and provide the information in.
Okay.
As far as the input material goes, we left this on here. It was on here last month, but we didn't get to the general manager's report last month. In the packet, we have provided 2 different door notice options that we've used in other districts, can be modified however this district would like. The prior notice, which they get before an installation of an endpoint is performed, a post notice they get whenever it's completed. There's a letter to residents that we do send out, as well as instructions for Ion Water and how to access their account and set up their account. All of that has been provided. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to really look at it. We provided it last month as well, but I wanted to bring it back up because we didn't get the chance to discuss it. So, I know that, Cole, have we gotten the agreement back from Badger?
No.
No, so
No.
we've both asked for it, I don't know how many times and followed up. Maybe you follow up this time because I think I did last time.
I'll do that.
So, once we get that back from Badger, they have claimed to have a copy of it. So we're just waiting on Badger to give it to you all, and I think that's when we verify that, Cole has a chance to look at it and determine that you do indeed have a valid agreement with Badger, we can move forward with providing endpoint material to residents to begin setting up accounts.
I'm sorry, I misheard you. You all do have a Badger agreement. We do have it.
I thought we had some outstanding questions with
We
Badger.
were waiting for the deposit refund to go.
That's it, yes.
Badger owes the district, well, the district owes Badger, Badger owes the district. And so they had been
Yeah.
mischarging you all.
And we haven't received it yet, right? 'Cause we've
You all have
given them the
agreed to
option that
pay
they
a certain
chose.
amount per endpoint. They were not honoring that
Okay.
for
We'll have to
many
follow up with
years. And so then when it came up, we brought it to Badger's attention and they said, we're gonna issue a credit. They had 3 different solutions. It was either issuing a credit to the district and then the district pay a larger sum and then go back to the rate that they had suggested initially that you agreed to, or basically balancing your account out and giving you all a check, cutting you a check.
And
So-
y'all, the board voted,
Hold
or
on, let's see.
they determined on what option. We communicated that option back to Badger. We just have not received anything from Badger to substantiate that they've given you all a credit. So that's what we need to track down.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the emails, we've been following up every month or so, asking for updates, and they're saying that they've entered the credit and they're gonna begin rebilling at the correct rate. She said it'll take some time, that was, of course, back in July, so it truly has been time.
Follow it up.
But I'm gonna follow up right now.
And then, next up on ours is the approval for preparation of the MS4 permit. This is not something this district has done as far as approving the preparation for this, but Cole, I think that you put this on here just as a standard item for them to approve the preparation of the MS4 annual report. It's
Yes.
due December 31st, 2024. You will have a training ahead of your December board meeting. It's roughly 20 to 30 minutes where I'll go over a PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully it will be working by then. And we'll cover your annual MS4 training, which is a part of your annual report. Do you want them to approve, or are you good with?
We typically like to have the
Okay.
boards approve it just because it costs money. I mean, it might be included.
What's
It's
the motion?
included, so it doesn't
What's
cost
the-
them anything.
What's the motion, Reed?
A motion to approve Infomark preparing the MS4 annual report.
What she said.
I'll second that. We take a vote?
No, there's no discussion. Yeah, take a vote.
All in favor?
Alrighty, next and last step on our list is PFAS regulations and compliance requirements. You have a PFAS letter in your report this month. The EPA is coming out with regulations and sampling requirements and a lot of information that's currently up in the air right now as far as regulation and how it's supposed to be enforced. Infomark has put together a letter for all of our districts so that you all know that we're aware of this, we're tracking it, and we will bring forth whatever additional costs you're gonna have. You already test for PFAS regularly, but this is going to be more stringent requirements for sampling.
I would wait on some of this till maybe after the first of the year. Don't spend a lot of money on this.
We're not, Infomark's not gonna spend any money, this is just to let the district know that we're aware of it, we're working
Okay.
through it. And when and if these costs start being more determined as far as the rules and regulations that the EPA is going to put forth, I think and have heard that they are likely to use TCEQ for some of the, kind of like
Registration of it,
inspections and
right.
registration and all of that. So this is just as an FYI for y'all. We're not asking you to spend any money right now. We just want to make you aware of it. We've also provided an FAQ, which I think when the time comes, we can post to the district website. It's provided by the EPA. Helps inform residents who have questions and want to know more. It's, I think, 4 pages long. So quite a bit. But if we want to jump back up to the top of the report and go through the items for approval, first up would be land cares, $1,950 for tree removal and trimming over Dagama Lift Station. If y'all want to make a motion for that.
I make that motion.
It's 1,000 what?
$950.
Can you at least give the amount, please, on your motion?
1,950?
Yes, thank you. Anybody want to second that?
Well, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Alrighty, and then next up is Touchstone's quote to trip out to work on getting your new microphone set up as well as checking the system. We'll confirm that with them. That quote amount was $2,811.66.
2,000 what? Sorry.
$811.66.
Do you want to do that, Carol?
Well, I mean, I went by fast. When you say they provided a quote, is there what's in that quote? I mean, what are they
So it's
saying?
a trip fee, so they have to travel, they're not
Okay,
local, they're from
okay.
Houston, so it includes travel time to come out. I think it includes a day here, the building, to diagnose, this also includes the purchase of the new microphones
Okay.
and set up an installation of the new microphones and offloading of the old ones. And then we'll just ask them while they're here to go ahead and do a system check. There hasn't been one performed in a while, so I don't see any issue with it.
It'd be nice, sure nice to get a local person to take over this system.
I would second that.
Proprietary is
I would
Sorry?
second that, so.
How proprietary is the system that we're using? It's not?
It's not.
That might be something to think about.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we're of the idea that we don't want to go ahead and we want to
I
wait
would still
until we
recommend
do-
it, we're losing microphones by the meetings. So we're gonna get to the point where residents can see us but can't hear us.
Okay.
Do
We
these-
can happily look into other options that are local and see who's available. and
I
get
just
some quotes.
want to make sure that, you know, this trip charge and everything, I mean,
That's why we almost never ask them to come out,
Right,
because it's
right,
fairly
good, good.
expensive.
David?
Do these microphones have to be programmed?
Yes.
Or are they on a certain megahertz that they will, if you buy an additional one, it picks it up?
No, it has to be programmed into the system for it to pick up and read when the live streams kick
we
on.
need to know.
And the whole entire unit back there that they sit on and charge is wired into the system.
Okay.
Each microphone, when you go back there, David, I know you've looked in that box, you'll see toggles, each one goes to each
Okay.
microphone.
Yeah, 'cause
So
I
it
only
is
see-
all wired in.
I only see 2 tabletop ones on the proposal, so,
We have 2 dead in the back. So they're gonna come out and set up the new ones that we need.
right, but the cost of this, it only says 2 tabletop
And-
microphones.
The gooseneck one right there will also be replaced.
Right, so you have one for your table and one here. Is it gonna be enough to pick up, and then you have coal, so is that enough?
Yes, these still work. This
Okay.
is to replace the dead ones that we currently have, because as of right now, we hardly have enough for the tables. So there's 2 dead ones currently sitting in the
So,
back,
okay.
and that one's on its last leg.
Gotcha, okay.
So we're asking for $2,801.66.
Well, I see it as something we need to take care of quickly, so
Yep.
I'll make the motion. Let's pay them and get it done.
I'll second it.
I'd just like to make a comment that I think that money would be wisely used towards a new system. I think we should look into changing, it is old and obsolete. I think $2,800 would be well spent into a new system versus adding to a system that's old in age, it's, failing. I think it would be a better recommendation, or my opinion, to look into getting a new system before we
Yeah.
spend money into.
We are gonna look
So-
into it. How long would it take us to get a new system set up with the bids and everything? It's not gonna be by next meeting, is it? And
I would
this
say
needs to be done
3
immediately,
3 to 4
right?
months.
I was in the middle of speaking.
Chris, can you let him finish, and then you can speak?
Go ahead.
So, yeah, that would be my recommendation, that we not buy these and invest that money into a new system. So, thank you.
Chris, go ahead.
We need to get this done now. It's gonna take us a while. I agree with you. We need to look at a new system, but I don't see an alternative not spending that money now. I mean, we got microphones that aren't working. But do you agree?
Hold on.
We do, we have 3 that are done. Well, 2 dead, 1 that
Go ahead.
was. Go ahead, Carol.
I apologize. No, I mean, I'm bouncing here because the dilemma is we are not getting good recording going out, or people are not hearing. Is that correct?
Right.
Is that, Mackenzie, is that what's
I
happening?
wouldn't necessarily say we're getting anyone chiming in to us, letting us know that they can't hear, but we already have 2 microphones that are
Okay.
completely dead. That one is on its last leg, has been for a little bit now, and I
Right.
expect it to go fairly soon. At that point, we will not have enough microphones for the tables.
Okay, so, I mean, I was one who was on that side for a lot of meetings myself, and I do know there's more to it than just not hearing. There are times when it goes out, and then when you reconnect, you may get reconnected to an old meeting, or you get reconnected to where it's not really at. So, I made the motion, but because I see that it's a critical need right now, and that's why I made the motion for us to go ahead and spend the money. I'm going to stand with my motion. I made the motion. So.
Does anybody want to second that?
I second it.
It's been seconded.
Mackenzie, can I ask you a question? How long do you think it would take to get Touchstone to give us a price? Well, is that what they're gonna do as well? Or can they give us a price on a new system versus,
They can, as far as
how long do you think that'd take them, and implement it, and, I know it's kinda hard to.
Given the holidays, I think you're
That's
gonna
true.
look a little
You're right.
further.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I think you can get a quote by the next meeting, given if we approve a trip out here, because that's the problem, is they have to be able to come out and deduce what your system has and what can be incorporated that's not already antiquated into a new system, and then determine what new system requirements you
Yes, ma'am.
need.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that, why don't we
Vote.
make a vote on this, but also have you do the investigating if we could find something in the next 30 days under $10,000. I don't think we are, it's gonna be way more than that.
Yeah, just let us get you some quotes, and then y'all can take them under consideration at the next board meeting.
And,
David,
Well,
do you
my-
want to make a motion on that?
my thought is that, I wanna get something that doesn't tie us to Touchstone, like, that other companies, are able to work with, because if, we shop for something local, are they capable, or are they able to service that product? I don't wanna buy a product that only Touchstone or, I imagine there's probably local vendors that can, but I would like to kind of not limit ourselves to that, not get us stuck in with Touchstone, but
Okay, Mark.
that's it.
You'll need to vote on the motion. you
I was
have on
gonna
the
say,
table
I'm gonna
first.
stop right now, and let's make a motion on what we have on the table right now, please.
So the motion
So-
made by Carol
I
for
know.
Touchstone
Yes,
to come out and do their on-site visit, repair the mics, and then Mackenzie's gonna ask them to put a quote together on what a new system would look like in the amount of $2,811.66.
and who's gonna
I
second?
seconded it.
You second that, okay, let's take a vote, all in favor? I'll do it, that's fine, we need to have it, we don't have a choice.
Alrighty, next up is Shade Pro for the shade replacement over there in the corner for $4,145.
Why can't it be patched?
That material is not patchable, the way that it's binded together. I have never met a single shade company that provides shades for any playscapes that is willing to patch them.
Of course not, they want to sell you a new one.
What's the price of
Well,
it?
It's $4,145 for newer ones, larger ones, you can get up in the 20s. I will say historically, Shade Pro has been our lowest bidder, and they do great work.
First thing that comes to mind is go bring it to a place that sews sails and have them patch it.
I just can't believe it can't be patched.
So it's not that you just disconnect it, it's the wires are anchored down into the pole support system, so it's not that somebody can just go undo it, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah.
But I've asked plenty of companies to patch, they will not patch, they will patch like a quarter if they can, but
How big
anything
is this
larger.
hole?
It is now? Last time I was out there, it was only that big.
It's been
so.
windy lately, so.
Okay, someone want to make a motion for $4,145 to have this fixed, have it replaced?
Not me.
Okay, we're gonna move forward.
Okay. The quote from M&C to replace the light pole over there at 1,100 Hunters Creek for $9,082 is next up.
And that's for the light, correct?
Yes, it's for them to erect a new pole, purchase the pole, ballast the fixture.
Did they say anything about why it rusted?
We weren't the ones that visibly saw it. It was removed before we got there.
Yeah.
PEC is the one who reported to us after removal that it was
It's been there
rusted.
a while. I had a resident come up and tell me about it, tell me the history of it. You know, those poles are trimmed out in such a way that they don't sit in water.
No.
So, and Lord knows we don't get that much rain. I'm just wondering why it rusted out. And then I worry, do we have other ones that are rusting?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, then why did this one rust out?
I couldn't tell you. It was removed before we ever even got to see it. PEC reached out to us to let us know they removed it.
So we need the light, so does anybody want to make a motion for 9,000?
I'll make the motion. I'd still like to know why.
Try to keep us in line on time, so you want to make a motion on that?
I did. I made a motion of how much?
$9,082.
$9,082 for a new pole that rusted, and we don't know why.
Do I have a second? I'll do a second on that, we need a light. Okay, all in favor?
You don't want to replace it?
Not at this current moment. I'd like to find out what
Well,
happened.
would you call the resident and tell him why that you didn't want to replace it? He's been complaining about it for months.
Sure, absolutely. Give us
Okay,
one of them.
I'll get his name.
Yeah, thanks.
Alrighty, that
Okay,
concludes
next.
everything that I had in my report.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mackenzie. Okay, I'm gonna ask that on 6, I'm asking that we do not, because we do not have a full board tonight, that we make no motions on 6A, B, or C tonight until our next meeting. In the interim, our bills and invoices would stay the same with Directors Avila and Jones until next month, so at least things would get paid.
We've covered
Yes.
all items under old business in my report.
Yes. Can we get a second on 6A, B, and C?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? 3, okay, great. Okay, and 7, we just did all of these, endpoint we did. 8A, new business including reconstitute, I'm gonna ask the same thing, that we please put this off until our next meeting. Can I get a vote on that as well, please?
Do we need a vote on that?
Or let's just wait, are we all in favor?
We don't need a vote.
Okay, 8B, who put this up here?
Well, so that's typically, A and B go hand in hand with also the oaths of office that you all did last week. But since you did not have a full board last week, the board at that time voted to defer reconstituting until you had a full board. You don't have a full board tonight because Hanoi is out of town, so that's on the agenda. The revised district registration form is what we fill out after you all reconstitute. So we have a district registration form that we're going to submit to the TCEQ. It's going to keep the same positions of the directors as they are now, and then we're just going to leave, basically Hanoi's position will stay the same, and then we're just going to have everybody else listed as director. That way we have the registration form in, and at the next month's meeting, we'll have the reconstitute and the revised district registration form again on the agenda. So hopefully if you have a full quorum, you all can discuss what you want to do then.
Okay. 8C, adopt resolution adopting policy regarding public comment at meetings of the Board of Directors. Does anybody want to talk about that?
Table it till we have a full board.
We'll table that. C, we'll table it. D, discuss installation of Christmas lights in the district to occur before Thanksgiving holidays. That one we cannot put off.
If you
seeing how
go
it is
into
November.
my folder, you'll see at the very top, we did get an updated estimate tonight, just ahead of your board meeting, from Four Seasons Landscape. I believe, Reese, correct me if I'm wrong, but Hanoi had reached out to us and let us know to go ahead and get on the books with somebody, and so we picked the one that fell under your budget number so that you would not be over budget for this item, but also incorporated what we would typically see within the parks. This includes wreaths at some of the entrances. This includes the 2 colored trees over in Anderson Mill West Park, as well as lights for both Anderson Mill West and Lakeline Oaks.
Great.
So you would approve the amount of $9,727. I'm not sure what the 1939 is in tax, but we'll provide him your tax exempt form anyways. So you would just approve that $9,727 to move forward.
Now, do we need to approve that if we already approved for the 10,000 in a past meeting?
That's a budgeted amount.
Okay.
I would still provide approval for this quote specifically since we did
Unless
solicit
you did a
several.
not to exceed, you got.
We didn't, it was just in the budget,
So David, because you're on parks right now, do you want to do that?
No, I don't.
Okay, then.
I
Chris,
make
you
a
wanna
motion,
do
we do it.
it? You said no, so move
Yeah,
on.
it's fine.
Chris?
Yeah, I make
Okay.
a motion that we go with,
The company's name is Four Seasons Landscape for $9,727 to install holiday lights. within the district.
$9,700.
$27.39, and I'll second that.
No, you don't want to do the 1939 with it, so it's 9,727 flat.
Okay.
No 39
And,
cents.
it's up to them when they're gonna do it?
No, we have it on the books for them, I think the direct week after Thanksgiving, so
Great.
not next
That's
week, but
what I
the week
was
after.
wondering. Great.
Okay, all in
A
favor?
discussion, please, hold on.
Discussion?
Yeah, thank you. Mackenzie, didn't we get other quotes as well? We had
We
two
did.
other quotes, and I don't see them on here. The reason I say, we allocated $10,000, but I believe the other quotes came in a little less. There was a $5,000 one and a $2,000 one. We approved for Mackenzie to go ahead and get some quotes for Andersonville West Park and Lake Lion Oaks building. But on this estimate that I see here, I see Park Forest, solar lights. I saw on another one, it was Valente Hills was going to get lights as well on their monument. So, it
We're
kind of
doing them where
went-
we have electricity access, and if we don't, they're solar.
Right, so it's just what, it kind of went outside the scope what the board approved of doing. We said that we were gonna do just the building and Andersonville West Park.
They reapprove it with the new stuff.
So,
I agree.
yeah, I would have liked to have the other estimates present so we can all see and decide, and for Director Avila to go ahead and tell somebody to go ahead and go with it, it just doesn't seem right that the board should have made that decision. He shouldn't have taken it on his own. One person doesn't make a decision for the board, so it was a little concerning that he went ahead and did that when there were other quotes available that we could have discussed and we could have kind of talked to.
I don't believe the others
So-
would have allowed us to get on their books in time, which is
Well-
part of the deciding factor.
And to me, it's, we have a month really for Christmas, and to spend $8,000 for 1 month, it comes out to like $300 a day that we're spending for these lights, where if we kind of pulled back a little this year, I know it's unfortunate, people love lights, but I think it would be better to spend that kind of money next year, when you, right after Halloween, we're good to go, you have 90 days and you get more bang for your buck. I'd be more willing to go with the maybe $5,000 one to find right in the middle, so at least we're not spending a whole bunch of money, and getting the best deal for our bang for our buck. Just for 30 days, spending $9,000 is just a little high for me.
I'm just gonna say real quick, just because I want to, that last year we didn't spend any money at all, nothing. So I'm giving back to our neighborhood, because I know they were really upset that we didn't have it. I'm really excited that we'll be able to do this for them this year. I'm like, go for it.
They also tend to stay up a little longer than
Oh,
most
yeah.
Christmas.
So they're gonna do a great job. I'm excited.
Just one question, David, help me understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I am, I'm late to the party, so I've not seen these other things that you're talking about. So I'm asking you, Mackenzie, we have this one that's, what, 9,000? And I'm for it, but we have one that's 5,000. What is the difference between the two that's 9 and one's 5?
So we had one gentleman actually physically come to the district and meet with Reese, and they actually toured the district. That is the one that we're recommending. The other two did not come and do a
Okay.
tour.
Okay.
They were offered to do so. We asked them to.
Okay.
They opted to go out on their own and provide a quote based off of what they wanted to do. And so that is why there is a drastic difference in the two. The other two also, timeline-wise, were not going to work well. I don't believe one of them was probably, I think, mid-December before we could get on the books. and the other was not entirely sure of his timeline of when he could get to the district if they were to make a decision tonight. We reached out to this gentleman and asked if we can go ahead and get on your books and have the board vote at their meeting to approve this, and they were agreeable of at least putting you on the books in preparation that you would approve tonight. And that's the only gentleman who physically came out here and actually went to the parks to physically see and it be explained to him what we've had in the past and what we would like to see.
Cool.
Chris, now, you've already had your
I
time.
have a
Chris?
legal question.
What's the legal question?
I was just wondering, I looked in the water code for the authority that we have to do Christmas lights. I looked up in chapter H, the duties of the MUD, and I couldn't find anything that would authorize us to spend tax revenue on Christmas lights. It said, sorry.
Okay, you're doing a statement, you were supposed to be asking a question that you
Well,
asked for.
do we have
You've
the
already-
do we have
already
the
had your
authority
time.
to-
David?
Do we have
Okay,
the
he's done.
authority to?
Chris, go ahead.
I make a motion that we spend the $9,727 on Christmas lights.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Wow.
You've already seconded that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did.
I was gonna say, you've seconded, okay, all right.
Do you have any comments?
I'm struggling, I'm honest, I want them. The questions that David has brought up, I think, are valid ones to alleviate. What you're reading in law, I do understand, but the terminology of Christmas, it's a seasonal event. It's not necessarily focused on those who accept Christmas
Well,
as
holiday lights.
But though that does fall under the amenities of what a MUD does do. And I would certainly, Cole, if we're going astray, then I'm asking you to help us to understand that. I don't think we are, but nevertheless, I'm asking you to say, if you can.
I mean, MUDs, I'm trying to think of how to say this. The purpose of a district is not to hang lights. That's not one of the statutory purposes. That doesn't mean that districts cannot do that.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are districts that provide contributions to HOAs for street lights in a development, whatever it might be. Those are agreements between two entities, and MUDs are allowed to enter into contracts for services. I mean, so David's point is is it a MUD's purpose to provide, lighting during holidays? No, that's not in the code. But that's not to say that it's not something that MUDs can't do. And there are a lot of MUDs that will, or a lot of governmental entities, I should say, not just MUDs, but a lot of governmental entities that will spend money to put up lights or do something to enhance the boundaries of the district.
And it's been done for years.
Right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cole. All right. What we have it outright is the motion and the second, and we've
Yes.
had discussion, so,
Let's make a vote.
okay.
All in favor? Okay, 8E, discuss the tree disease. And if anybody from the audience wants a picture, I've got them up here. Can you hand those down this way, please?
Did you have any other districts that have this problem?
What problem?
The tree,
Not currently.
hypo X1?
Not currently.
So this is not the first. I know that on my street, we actually had to remove one a couple weeks ago. All the neighbors got together and had it removed. We helped the neighbor because it was so expensive, so we all pitched in to help them so it didn't spread to the rest of us. But yes, this is going around. We need to decide, it would be nice if we would make a decision of how to help people know to please look for this so it doesn't keep happening on the rest of the trees. Yeah, it's happening a lot. And if we want to save our trees, this came in an email to us. People are very worried about it right now. We have beautiful trees here. I think we want to save what we can. The discussion is, how do we want to get this out to the people? And Mackenzie, I would like to see, we can have this an open discussion, but is there a way to be able to put this in, to put a letter out for everybody so that if they do have this to, please.
What we can
please
do
call
and what I would
someone.
recommend doing is let's work with your landscaper to get some language specific to what this disease is, what causes it, how it comes about, what to look for. And maybe we can work with Land Care to put together some format of a letter format. We can publish it to the website to make people aware. And then if the district wants to send out that as an additional back of a bill, we can do that in your December bills.
Yeah, I do think it's something that it would be nice if we could discuss tonight, because it is spreading, it spreads quickly from what I understand from the people that came for across the street, what he did for them. It's not something that, takes a year to spread, it takes just weeks. So we need to decide how we want to handle that. Anybody else want to discuss it?
Let Mackenzie work on it.
So
I think it's a good idea.
what I'm hearing is that you just want to send out some information on steps to take, but you're not recommending that the MUD get involved in removing the trees, right?
I didn't hear that.
Not right now, no.
No?
Right now, we need to let people know that it's happening and that it's going to kill our
You know, we have trees in our parks and in common areas, so, we can be involved, so I would like to know.
Well, and Mackenzie, we do need to have Land Care check our parks.
Yeah, we can have them do, on their next service visit, I'll have them just do a once over on any of the trees. And then throughout, and we'll make sure, we're getting to the point too where we either should have just done any pruning or we should be doing and then sealing up for the year. So, if they can do that when that happens on the annual timeline of whenever, I don't know if it was November or if it was October, I'll have to double check. But that's typically whenever we do any pruning for oaks specifically, and then they have to be sealed up so that they don't have the cause of oak wilt coming in for the spring.
So is this something that we need to take a vote on to be able to put this on the next letter?
No,
Or is it cost?
no, there's no cost driven for this. I'll work with Land Care to get some information on the disease specifically. I'll ask them if they can just do once over the next time they're doing their services in the parks to take a look at our trees to make sure we don't currently have any going anywhere. And then, we'll put together a blurb. We'll work with the Information Management Committee, which is, I believe, you in Hanoi, and we will get something put on the website via a blog post, and we can put that same information in the next bill.
Can Land Care also let them know what streets it does have the disease on? Is that something that they can do, or is that something that?
They would have to go
Evermark can do?
to every house to do that.
Their front yards is all that we're asking, is to drive.
That's probably gonna be an extra cost for Land Care to drive the district and look at residential trees. That's not in their current purview.
I don't think that's in our scope of reason we're here. Taking care of our trees in our park, absolutely, I would agree that Land Care go and check and make sure, be proactive, let's take care of that. But to go around the neighborhood and residents, it's just, yeah.
Okay, so Cole, I think you do have the email from this.
He does. It came from Tammy.
So if we're not gonna get involved, someone needs to get involved with this neighbor, because that's what we do as a MUD, is try to.
So I think what you all can do is, Mackenzie has Land Care do when they're out in the district's parks, so they can look at the district's trees. You all could, like Mackenzie suggested, have the information committee get together and put some photos out online and maybe draft a statement about what the disease is, what are ways.
At least get on the website.
Excuse me?
Okay,
What he said, at least get it on the website.
Yeah, you do something to put it out there, because I'm not saying you can't reach out to this one individual, but if you take that approach, then you have potentially 30 individuals and you're doing 30 different.
Right.
So put it out on the website. It's very minimal cost to the district, no cost if the information committee does it. And that way, hopefully, people will be able to see, if they see this, they can call an arborist or they can call a landscaper or something like that to come out and look at it.
Yeah, just ASAP.
This is just a friendly reminder, you're down to 2 minutes, so you might want a motion to extend to cover whichever items you have left.
I thought we,
Oh, I'm sorry,
8:30.
8:30.
We're close.
That's
You
too
make
early.
it through there.
You're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you're good with that, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I made notes. I'll get with Land Care. We'll get some information together. We'll let the Information Management Committee review before we publish, and then we'll put it in the next bill as well.
Great. 8F.
Oh, this is an agenda item that I asked to be on here. is to discuss including Pledge of Allegiance and perhaps a moment of silence as an agenda item to be included at the beginning of the board meetings. I've looked into what is done, what can be done, and there are certainly rules and regs. But I do see in my minimum amount of research, I did see that there are MUDs that do this, that they have that on their agenda item at the top. And then I also checked groundwater boards because they too fall under the purview of TCEQ. And many of them have that as a part of their agenda. I think this is a very good thing to do. It's certainly where people's rights are to participate or not. That's a choice that they have as to whether they will do. But I am making the recommendation that, or I suppose it's a motion, I guess I will go ahead and make that we include that on our agenda.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
I've been wanting that since the first day I came.
Hey, all right.
Okay, so when we do this, in this motion, we're gonna need a flag and a stand, correct? Do we have any of that here,
We
Mackenzie?
do, we used to.
It was part of the
4-H.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah, it was
yeah,
their
so
flags.
We can get one ordered.
Okay.
Made in the USA, please.
Okay.
Not
Well,
mentioned.
as I say, notice that I did say that it's the pledge, and it's, as I said there, a moment of silence. And as I looked at the different entities that have this, they define that in different ways. Most often, they use the term invocation, and
There was a.
I apologize, I thought, what did I do? Okay, I'm sorry, Linda. But anyway, my recommendation is the term time of silence, because we are a multicultural community, and I want to respect that. Certainly, there were those that you would be including, you would pray or you may meditate. I mean, it's a choice of decision, but just a silent time. And my purpose is that it's a time for us to focus on helping our board to be a cooperative group, willing to listen to one another. That's my focus, is that we can do that. So that's my motion, and David seconded. So.
Discussion?
Well, what committee would just decide exactly what we're gonna do?
I'm sorry?
I said, we need to assign it to somebody to exactly what we wanna do.
You could put it on next month's agenda when you reconvene your committees and then I'll
Okay,
assign.
good.
I know that it puts you out 1 month, but that would give y'all the option to put it under a committee once y'all reconvene and determine who's gonna be
I
on
mean,
what.
do you know exactly how you wanna do it?
Well, I would certainly know how I would do it, but,
Yeah.
I don't mean to say that I want to
Just
direct it.
beginning
I
of
will
the
be
meeting.
very cooperative in working with whomever,
Okay.
to figure it out.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll move it to the next meeting, Cole.
okay.
I'll put it on the agenda.
Thank you. Okay, 8G.
So she was.
Oh, we had a second, yeah. we had
Right,
a vote.
so,
Second.
So you can just.
Yeah, we had.
David
second.
David
Yeah, second by Dave, we need a
Well,
vote.
that's it.
there we go.
Unanimous.
Okay.
8G. Discuss resolution concerning recording of board meetings on a personal device.
So this was a resolution, I believe it was brought up 2 meetings ago, regarding recording meetings with a cell phone. You're allowed under the government code to record meetings with a cell phone. And so, and I printed this out so I can read it to you all. But a person in attendance may record all or any part of an open meeting of a government body by means of a recorder, video camera, or other means. A governmental body may adopt reasonable rules to maintain order at a meeting. So, if someone in the audience comes and wants to stand right in front of you and hold their phone up, I mean, that's obviously disruptive. I think most people would agree that you all as a governing body can adopt some sort of policy that would dictate, if someone's going to record, or use a tripod, can you put your phone on a tripod, towards the back of the room, or whatever it is, be able to see and hear. But you all as a district can or as a board can kind of establish some sort of policy for that. You can't just outright ban that.
Okay, we'll bring it back up again at the next meeting for 8G.
Okay.
We'll bring it up again when we're all present.
Okay.
Okay, number 9, attorney's report.
So just for the two new directors, you all have open government training requirements. Chris, you're probably familiar with these. You do them with Secretary of State. Carol, you're new to it, but it's relatively straightforward. If you haven't received an email from our office, we should have sent that information to you, but we'll resend it so you have it. Typically, they're quick videos that you watch and then you fill out a certificate at the end. Kind of goes over, probably it'll be helpful, we'll go over a lot of kind of open meetings rules and requirements for that. So we'll resend that to you, but that's all I have in my report otherwise.
Okay, 10,
I don't think you have anything to cover in executive session.
I don't either. 11,
That's
No.
when you come out.
same thing. 12, set the matters as may come before the board, including discussion about items to be included in the next future meetings. I think that we've done a lot of that during the meeting tonight.
Well, I mean, we will restate, if you will, Cole, which ones that were
Deferring.
deferred. And
So you all deferred all the items under 6, so
Right.
essentially all the committee assignments and reports.
okay.
You deferred 8A, 8B, and 8C, which is
Correct.
the reconstitute
Okay.
revised distribution form and the policy regarding public comment meetings. You deferred,
All of
You-
6.
Yeah.
All of 6.
yeah, all of
Yes,
them,
we
yeah.
said that.
A, B,
Okay,
and C of
sorry.
8, and then you deferred G as well under 8. So A, B, C, and G of 8 were deferred.
That was all. Okay.
And your next meeting is December 18th, so that is close to the holidays. If, we always ask, I know the previous board was able to make that quorum. If there's anyone who's gonna be out of town or not, please let us know as soon as possible, because we'll need to
I'm
either
fine.
reschedule or.
I'm fine.
I have
Cole,
no
can you
life.
please add an agenda item for the MS Sport presentation?
Yeah.
Just cover it under my report, but it needs to be on there because we include that agenda in the annual report.
Okay. Can I have someone make a motion to end the meeting?
I just have one request
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, not leave quite yet. I do have a copy of the signature card.
Good.
So I can get it from those board members. In that way.
That way y'all can have the check signed.
Sure.
We didn't approve them.
I make motion we adjourn.
I second it.
That's gonna be.
All in favor?
That's it.
All in favor?
Gone.
Okay, pass it.
The minutes were also deferred.
Right.
Oh, that's,
Carol, so I don't have time to check, so if you could sign right there, please.
They're filling out your records.
That's fine. If there's anything on those that y'all don't know, let me know. And some of it I can fill in for you, but just fill out like all of your information.